Good evening. This is Dr. Dell again. This video is for outside the medicine. Talk about the Bible. Previously, I've talked about David and the Psalm, Abraham and Jacob. Today, I'm going to talk about another very inspirational, intriguing figure, Joseph. Before I start talk to him about him, let's talk about briefly review the history. So Joseph is the first son of Rachel, and his father is Jacob, of course. If you recall, Jacob married Leah first, and then married Rachel. He loved Rachel. For that reason, he served extra 7 years for Laban, and since Rachel was the youngest daughter and her older sister was Leah, so Jacob married Leah first and then married Rachel. Anyway, Joseph is the first son of Rachel, and then Rachel gave him another son whose name is Benjamin, the youngest of 12, and shortly after she gave birth to Benjamin, she passed away, while Jacob and his family are wandering in that area. And because Jacob loves Rachel so much, so I think Joseph is Jacob, is whom Jacob loved the most. If I recall right, he was probably 16 or 17th birthday or something, and Jacob gave Joseph a special robe made with golden thread. Made, I think, the 17 years of love accumulated the hatred from his brother. In addition to that, in addition to Jacob's special love, Joseph had so many times of the dream that the 11, if you recall, 11 bunch of the wheat bite to him, and his brothers also bow down to him. So something like this, and then the brothers hate him. So one day, when the brother shepherded the flocks on the hill, and Jacob asked Joseph, "Can you check on with your brothers, make sure they're doing the job?" So Joseph went, and on the way he met people. Another person asked, "Have you seen my brothers?" And that person pointed to Joseph, said they were there on the hill. So he walked that way. Before they meet each other, the brothers already start a plot. Look at that, something like this. Look at that guy here to, in charge or something like this. So they plot to kill him, and they throw him in the pit. And at the same time, at this moment, the Egyptian business, a bunch of business people passing by, and one of the brother, Reuben or somebody, I don't remember who, but anyway, he said, "Why should we kill him? Why don't we sell him to the Egyptians for the slave?" So they did so. They brought him up and sold him, and they killed a lamb and stained the robe with blood and brought back to the father. Said, "See, Joseph was killed by the wolf when we find this." And Jacob tore down his clothes and rags and put dust on the face, and crying from the heart said his life will be sorrow since then. But anyway, so Joseph was sold to another very important person near Pharaoh. And he was in charge because he did a good job, and that commander's wife, for some reason, made a plot, and Joseph was thrown in the jail. And when he was in the jail, the two of Pharaoh's servants, one is the cup holder, the other is bakery, also thrown in the jail. And they had dreams, very strange, and couldn't figure out what it is. And Joseph interpreted the dream, and turns out it was right. So one of the servants was killed, the other one would continue to serve. And before they left the jail, Joseph said, "If you were out, please don't forget me." But they did forget him. So a couple years passed by. The Pharaoh had strange dreams about the 7 cows and 7 strong cows and 7 weak or sick cows, something like this, and I couldn't figure out how to interpret it, the dream. And now it's time to recall Joseph once has done the interpretation dreams. So then the Pharaoh called Joseph out, and he did a very wise interpretation, and he said, "This is not me, it's God interpreted for you." So then Pharaoh put Joseph in charge of the Egypt. This is very inspirational. In addition to that, I think most inspirational because Joseph did not give up. He took responsibilities regardless of what. His brothers hate him, but his father said, "You check on him, make sure they did a good job," and he did it. And in the jail, he was also in charge. He was not discouraged or disappointed, but he still continuously, persistently hold his God and move on, do what he's supposed to do. Even when he was in charge in Egypt, he still hold his God highly in his belief and did a good job. And the famine came, so Jacob sent his sons to Egypt, except for the youngest, Benjamin. So Joseph recognized the brothers, but did not tell them. They couldn't recognize him. And eventually he was so emotionally burst out, crying and said, "I'm your brother Joseph." Everybody did bow down to him, so like his dream. And this is the beginning of the Israel brought all of his families, about 70 or 90 people, moved to the Egypt. The Pharaoh grant them a special place to dwell, and they start to multiply, growing in that land. If you recall later on, Moses. This is where the Moses stories start. Okay, so anyway, this is the story about Joseph. Again, I like to read this and read many times. Each time is different because I feel Joseph had a very strong faith and not give up, no matter how difficult it is. He did his job and took responsibilities and keep his faith. Eventually, of course, he's talented and wise. Eventually, he became the second man of Egypt. I couldn't remember his Egyptian name, but Bible has it. If interesting, you can read it and search for it. Anyway, this is my short, brief Bible. Today was on Joseph. I hope it interests you, so you can read it. Thank you for tuning in. See you next time.